Hey, what's up everyone, welcome to my channel. It's time to talk about Harley Davidson's 2025 lineup. Whether you're a veteran rider new to Harleys or just here because you love motorcycles, you're in the right place. I'm not going to waste your time with another in-depth overview of all 2025 models. Instead, I will briefly list you the most important changes of the model year and give you my top 5 model highlights of 2025. So grab your helmet and let's roll. Let's start with some general model year 2025 novelties. Harley still sticks to 6 model lines. The stars of the show are of course the Grand American Touring bikes and the Softail Cruisers. Those lines make up to 80% of all sales, so I'll focus on these two primarily. Speaking of Softails, every single one of them now comes packed with the 117 cubic inch motor. So if you thought you had enough power before, buckle up, because now you got even more. Note that there are some power differences among the models, although all Softails come with the 117 engine, but I'll talk about that in a moment. For all the detail-oriented folks, Harley's got new air cleaner designs as well, because why not make your bike faster and look stylish. On the exhaust front, Harley's giving us the good stuff with 2-in-1 exhausts on models like the Street Bob and the Lowrider. The 2-in-1 exhaust fits perfect to those models, since many West Coast performance riders usually put those exhausts on Dynas and FXRs anyways, so this is just a tradition continuing. But not all news is good news. Pour one out for the Softail Standard, the Sport Glide and the Fat Bob. They won't be joining us in 2025. Maybe the company has some plans to introduce some new models throughout the year and had to make some space first. Let's wait and see. If you're a fan of laced wheels, there are some good news for you. Spoke wheel options are now available for the Heritage and the Street Bob again, because who doesn't love a bit of old school flair? While the laced wheels are not exactly old school like the previous wheels, the 2025 have a bit of a modern twist. The wheels have modern externally bolted spokes which come straight out of the dirt bike world, leaving the classic design in the dust. And for all you techies out there, Harley's rolling out a brand new electronic package. We're talking about riding modes, traction control and cornering ABS. It's some fancy new tech that helps you corner better. Stunt riders will probably hate this feature because it prevents your bike from drifting, but for the regular user, those may be useful functions anyway. Now let's jump right into my top 5. The legendary Fat Boy. Now it's loaded with tech gadgets like cruise control and traction control. The cruise control makes the bike more road trip friendly, and with the beastly 117, traction control is a lifesaver when you've got all that power at your fingertips. Also a few years back, Harley made the smart move by ditching the brushed aluminum look on the Fat Boy and introducing chrome again. And let's be honest, it was a great call because not many aftermarket exhausts pulled out that sleek finish back then. And now brace yourselves for some Elon level innovation. Harley finally added adjustable levers to its cruiser lineup. You heard that right. It's something most motorcycle brands have for, I don't know, like about half a century now. But hey, better late than never, right? And in typical Harley fashion, they've got these new adjustable levers listed on their homepage under innovations. I mean, I nearly spit out my tea when I read that. But hey, in the Harley universe, I guess we can count this as cutting edge technology. Whether the company's got a great sense of humor or they're just living in a world on their own, I can't tell that. Either way, adjustable levers are super useful. Late or not, I'll take them anytime. Now let's talk about the paint job for a second. The blue paired with chrome is a timeless classic, and many models got this paint job this year. Normally Harley gives us about 50 shades of grey, but this vibrant blue really gives the Fat Boy a fresh new vibe. The wheels seem to be inspired by Korean-made Daelim Daystar motorcycles, an Asian soft chopper from the 90s with an 8 cubic inch engine. The difference is that a set of Fat Boy rims costs more than the whole Korean bike. And if the Terminator were shot in 2025, Arnie would still totally roll on the Fat Boy, just this time he'd steal it from a fancy beach club instead of a smoky biker bar. Why? Because the 2025 Fat Boy is more of a beach boy than a bad boy these days. My number 4 highlight of this model year is the CVO Road Glide. Compared to the somewhat unspectacular and inconspicuous colors that Harley delivered last year, the paint jobs for the model year 2025 are once again worthy of being a true CVO model. For model year 2025, the company dares to gamble again. The color Poison Berry and Blue Streak, as shown in the video, are absolutely spectacular. These models remind me of the 80s, when guys with purple suits, mullets and sunglasses were considered fashion icons, while rocking to the sound of synthesizer music, hair metal and Prince. And talking about Prince, you would have probably loved the purple color on the 2025 CVO Road Glide if you were tall enough to reach the floor with his feet. Secondly, I generally like the chrome comeback. Shiny glitter metal is slowly coming back to Harley model lines, and unlike vivid black and black powder coated engine parts, Harley doesn't charge extra for the chrome option. Chrome never really went out of style, it just took a backseat while black had its moment in the spotlight. And of course Harley jumped on the trend and made sure that you paid extra for the privilege of blacked out engine parts and exhausts. I'm thrilled to see that Harley is returning to its roots with more shiny chrome on more models. Now let's talk about the price. The price for the CVO, of course, is ridiculous. The Blue Streak colored version costs nearly $52,000 in the US. In the 60s you could buy a house for that price, but at this stage it doesn't matter. CVOs have never been a rational model line, but a pure luxury object, which became even more luxurious in 2025. Although I'd never buy this bike brand new, I still like it because it screams 80s, just like Prince and hair metal. Since its introduction in 2006, the Street Bob has been the entry-level bike in Harley's big twin world. If you wanted an affordable, simple Harley with a big twin engine, you got yourself a Street Bob. The new 2025 Street Bob is also made in the same spirit, but with some nice improvements, and after kicking out the Softail standard, the Street Bob will probably take its place as Harley's new entry-level big twin again. The 2025 model also comes equipped with the 117 cubic inch engine, which generates 120 foot-pound of torque. This is some serious power for the skinny 150mm rear wheel of the Street Bob. Fortunately, the bike comes also equipped with traction control, which prevents the rear wheel from spinning. I'm a big fan of the 2-in-1 exhaust system on the Street Bob. The old twin cam Dyna Lowrider and the Switchback came with similar exhausts. These exhausts look like big cigars and create a clean line. One upgrade that I have mixed feelings about are the optional spoke rims. The old Dyna and the Milwaukee 8 Street Bobs were delivered from the factory with spoked wheels until model year 2021, so it was a standard back then. Since 2022, the Street Bob has been delivered with alloy rims. The official reason for the switch from steel spokes to cast aluminum is a tariff dispute, which has led to a shortage of steel and thus higher steel prices. Harley's solution was to put alloy rims on the Softail Standard, the Heritage as well as the Street Bob, which traditionally came with spoke wheels. However, the model year 2025 makes me doubt the official reasoning, because the latest Street Bob still comes with alloy rims, but extra spokes are now an option which costs $800. On the one hand, it's great that we have the option to choose between different rims now, but I'm somewhat disappointed that Harley tries more and more to squeeze out money for things that were previously free, like vivid black and laced wheels now. But to be fair here, the laced wheels are a modern, improved version of the classic rims, so that's a plus. Talking about the price, the Street Bob is the most affordable one in my comparison. The basic motorcycle in vivid black costs now $18,300, including freight costs. In conclusion, I would like to say that despite the recent change in Harley's pricing policy, the model will still find its customers because it has more to offer than its predecessors. More powerful engine, useful tech gadgets, fully chromed out engine and exhaust are all nice changes and may be worth the price increase. Plus, black bobbers with chrome parts are timeless classics and will still be popular in many years ahead, which is great news for the resale value. In summary, my only concern about the Street Bobs are the paid bonus options. But on the other hand, it is also the most affordable big twin in the current lineup. I am sure that this bike will have a big fan base. So just last year Harley rolled out and redesigned their touring lineup. All the touring bikes got the 117 cubic inch engine 1 year earlier than the Softail line, and some pretty big updates, and I mean big. The new Batwing fairing, it's got better wind protection, LED stripes, and the headlights got a little facelift. Oh, and Harley threw in a brand new digital cockpit too. Digital gauges on a big screen and all sorts of electronic toys to play around with. Many people like the modernized Street Glide, but some folks were like, what is this digital nonsense? They weren't feeling the futuristic design at all, saying that it looked like a spaceship with runway lights in the front. If you ask me, I don't need those LED stripes, but they don't really bug me either. The 2025 models are pretty much the same as 2024, except for new colors. But it doesn't make the Street Glide any less awesome, and it totally deserves the second place. Why, you ask? Because it's an effortless, comfortable bike which looks and feels great on the road. Sure, some of you might not agree, but I love the design tweaks. The bigger saddlebags, the CVO rear style LED stripes in the back, yes please. And it handles surprisingly well on twisty roads. But one thing threw me off during the test ride. When you turn off the bike, the digital gauges just vanish and you're left staring into a black hole of a screen that looks like it's judging your soul. In moments like these, I kind of miss the old school round gauges. But then again, I started wondering, could I maybe hook up my Nintendo to this thing, stash it in the saddlebags and maybe play some Mario Kart during Harley rallies? Now that's some customization I could get behind. But jokes aside, the cockpit does look pretty empty when it's turned off, but I guess that's something I will get used to. The new seat and laid back handlebars offer ideal riding comfort. Once you're riding, the Street Glide feels super balanced and comfortable. Flipping it from one turn to the other works effortlessly. For my 5'10", it fits like a made-to-measure suit. All I can say is that the Street Glide is just an all-around fantastic bike, and that goes for the 2025 model lineup as well. And now let's move to my number one pick. I was very interested in the Lowrider ST when it first was introduced in 2022. It seemed like a perfect homage to the old school style FXRs and Dynas from the 80s and the 90s. Harley even went so far to create a special model, the El Diablo, on the platform of the Lowrider ST, which is strongly reminiscent of Sonny Barger's FXR from the days back then. The bike offers many objective advantages: modern upside down forks with dual disc brakes, narrow, sporty hardshell cases, an authentic club style fairing and a reasonable price. Plus the Lowrider weighs 100 pounds less than the Street Glide, which is its main competitor in the current lineup. I like sporty Harleys with touring capabilities, so the Lowrider ST would actually be the ideal model for me. But until now, I didn't really want to buy one. Why? The 2x2 exhaust didn't really fit the overall club style look of the bike, and the color scheme was monotonous and boring. It was black everywhere except for the rims and the tank lettering. But the 2025 model is a completely different story, and I'm absolutely delighted with this bike. It finally has the 2x2 exhaust, which gives it a natural club style look, and finally there is a chromed out version of the bike with contrast cut wheels, and we also have some cool and authentic paint jobs. I absolutely love the blue and chrome combination, but even the bikes with the blacked out engine parts, which I previously didn't like, look awesome in this model year. The color Midnight Firestorm looks like an authentic paint job from the 90s. And the cherry on top is of course the powerful engine. Among all Softails, the Lowrider ST has the highest horsepower and generates 128 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's some serious performance and finally worth of a sporty cruiser. The Lowrider ST is priced below the Street Glide and costs $3,500 less in the US. I think that many people will be faced with the decision of whether to go for the Street Glide or the Lowrider ST. It's a close call, but ultimately it comes down to your personal preference. The touring bikes are more comfy, but the ST is lighter and sportier. In Europe, the decision is luckily not so difficult because the Street Glide is priced 8,000 above the Lowrider ST, which makes the choice a no-brainer for the Lowrider. In conclusion, the Lowrider ST is ideal for winding and mountainous roads and also offers the best overall package for the price. They finally got the look right on this bike, and the price is also somewhat reasonable, although it's still high. That's why the bike gets a well-deserved first place, and I have to admit, Harley did well on this one. So there you have it, my top 5 Harley Davidson picks for model year 2025. Whether you're into sporty rides, long distance touring, Harley got something for you. But remember, at the end of the day, it's not about which bike is the fastest, the most powerful or the most expensive. It's all about the ride. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment what you think about Harley Davidson's 2025 lineup. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, and see you next time.